Gigabyte's Aero series of laptops will always hold a special place in my heart. The Aero 15 from back in 2019 was one of the laptops that helped me launch this channel. At that time, I was on a mission to find a high-powered premium and portable laptop. That's because my own use case consisted of some of the toughest things you could do on a laptop. I was editing 4K videos, programming and gaming, and I needed to do all that while on the go. The Aero brand, it seemed like it was the perfect fit for my use case. However, it ended up falling a little short, and about 100 laptops later, I'm still searching for the perfect one. Well, today, we have Gigabyte's new Aero 14 for 2023, which I hoped would finally deliver on that promise. A high-powered portable and premium laptop. I mean, come on, you've got an extremely powerful i7-13700H inside, paired with a 45-watt NVIDIA RTX 4050 and a gorgeous OLED display. All in a very small and lightweight package at 3.3 pounds. What could go wrong? As you know, I value your time, so here's the skinny. The Aero 14 does deliver on its promise of a lot of performance in a small, lightweight package, but it is a challenge to actually use. For lightweight use like browsing the web, you definitely hear disturbing fan noise and the chassis gets very warm to the touch. The speakers and webcam are woeful, and the ports on offer are lacking for this type of laptop. Alright, let's dive into this in a little more detail, starting with performance. In Geekbench, which tests a variety of common performance tasks, this laptop did extremely well. When it compares to other powerful portable laptops, the only one to beat it was the higher-end MacBook Pro 14 with the 12-core M2 Pro CPU. In Cinebench, which tests how the processor performs when under full load, again it performed exceptionally well, only beaten out by the Asus G14 in multi-core, and that laptop uses an AMD Ryzen Zen 4 processor, and those processors are well known to do very well in this use case. Switching to graphics, this is the first RTX 4050 laptop that I've tested and it did not disappoint. The Aero 14 is massively faster than my 3050 Ti equipped Acer Swift. On this laptop, you will be able to get a taste of AAA gaming as well as do some 4K video editing. That being said, it doesn't compete with the RTX 4060 and 4070s available in larger laptops, nor Apple's M2 processors for video editing. Moral of the story, the Aero 14 is an incredible performer for its size, particularly in CPU tasks, where the fact that it is keeping pace with and sometimes beating laptops that are physically much larger than it is very impressive. I want to show you just how small the Aero 14 is. The Alienware X14 has a much larger footprint than the Aero. The Asus G14 is a good amount thicker. Heck, even the MacBook Pro 14 feels a little larger. Alright, the next thing I love about this laptop is the display. It is stunning, bright, color accurate and crisp with its high resolution. These factors combine to allow me to see a decent amount of content on screen without needing to squint. At 175% window scaling, which is what I felt comfortable using, I could see 38 rows of Excel, which is competitive for a premium 14-inch laptop. The laptop also has a fast 90Hz refresh rate, so movement on screen looks smoother. Also, although PWM flickering is used to lower the brightness, I felt that it was minimal and I really didn't have an issue with the implementation of it in this laptop. The keyboard is also quite comfortable to type on. The keys do feel a little low travel, but their soft feel and responsiveness kind of make up for that. So that's quite a lot of positives, but here's where using the laptop starts to be a struggle. Firstly, the fan noise on this laptop specifically for light tasks is obnoxious. It is some of the most disturbing I've heard. For example, I wrote this review with the fan mode set to Eco, which is the laptop's quiet mode. Sitting in a silent room, I could almost always hear the fans going, and all I was doing is writing a script on Microsoft Word. This is definitely not an intensive task, and a modern laptop should be dead silent for this. What was worse is the moment I did anything requiring an ounce of performance like opening up a Chrome tab, the fans would all of a sudden spin up faster and be very audible. It just gets worse though. It wasn't just how loud the fans were that was disturbing, it was that they kept spinning up and down, which makes them even more noticeable. This, by the way, has been an issue since my Aero 15, which I bought 4 years ago. Gigabyte really need to improve their fan control algorithm, particularly when the laptop is doing light tasks. In performance tasks, the laptop was very loud as well. And by the way, under no circumstance would I ever recommend running this laptop on turbo mode. The fans on that mode are insanely loud. Now, if you thought having the fans running a lot would keep the laptop feeling comfortably cool to the touch, you'd be dead wrong. Just writing this review, with nothing else running on the laptop's palm rest felt noticeably warm to the touch. I mean, check out the difference in surface temperatures between this laptop and my MacBook Pro 14 for the identical task. The Aero 14 is 7 to 8 degrees Celsius warmer, which is definitely noticeable. I found myself regularly typing with my hands lifted slightly above the palm rest to avoid the heat. And remember, I'm talking about just writing a document on Microsoft Word here. Good luck doing something intensive on this laptop without using an external keyboard. Look, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know the problem here. The laptop has loud fan noise and feels hot because the components inside are way too powerful for this laptop's cooling solution. If you've watched my channel recently, I've been on a mission to test every 14-inch laptop. So I'm a bit of an expert in this, and I've witnessed many laptops this size struggle to cool Intel's 13th gen P-series processor, which is less powerful than the H-series in this laptop. I found Intel's lower wattage U-series processors more suitable for a laptop this size. Well, in this laptop, Gigabyte have put in a high-powered H-series processor. That processor really needs to be matched with a laptop that has a large chassis with very robust cooling solution, like XMG's Neo 16. What makes this situation worse is they've also put in pretty powerful dedicated graphics, which also needs to be cooled. The only 14-inch laptop I've tested that can come close to handling similarly powerful components is the Asus G14, and that has a thicker chassis and is using an AMD Ryzen processor. Alright, the trackpad. On the surface, the trackpad is actually pretty good, and tracking feels accurate. But it is mechanical, and when you click, you lose a bit of accuracy, particularly in the bottom corners. For tasks that involve precise clicks like video editing or gaming, which this laptop is meant to be designed to do, you'd really want to use an external mouse. Next, the ports. To demonstrate this issue, let's take one of the main use cases that this laptop is marketed at: content creating. Almost all cameras that creators use full-size SD cards to transfer files. The first problem is that this laptop has no full-size SD card reader, only a micro one. So creators are forced to either plug in an SD card reader into one of the USB-C ports or plug the camera directly into one. And that's where the second problem rears its head. The only way to charge this laptop is with the single USB-C port on the left side, so anything that you want to connect via USB-C has to be done on the right side. Since the ports are halfway down the laptop, these cables now get in the way of using a mouse on either side, which, as I just said, is really necessary on this laptop. As you can see, this is just not a well thought out design for one of the laptop's main intended use cases. Next, the speakers. They are atrocious. There is negative bass here, and at high volumes they just sound distorted. I think these are good enough to use for vocals, say a conference call, but you wouldn't want to listen to music on them or watch a movie on this laptop. Fourth, there are several unreliable things about the laptop. Minor ones though. For example, Gigabyte's Control Center software where you go to change the fan settings and performance modes. On occasion, it just didn't open. And sometimes driver updates were insanely slow. Next, on occasion when I closed the lid, the laptop wouldn't go to sleep, and I could just still hear the fans going. Next, there are some miscellaneous things that I don't like. The RAM is soldered and not upgradable, and the webcam sucks. The webcam isn't great, and I think the reason the audio is this bad is because it's heavily processed. They seem to be running extensive noise cancellation to hide the fan noise. Lastly, pricing. This laptop is expensive. At the time I wrote this review, my unit was going for $1,650. It's a lot. It's more than the Asus G14, and it's getting real close to the price of a MacBook Pro 14 with M2. Which leads me to my conclusion. Yes, if you want a ton of power in a Windows laptop that is super small and light, this laptop will give it to you. But there are serious sacrifices that you will be making. Look, when I did use this laptop in a room with a lot of background noise, other than the warm feeling keyboard deck, I enjoyed it. But the moment you start using the webcam or playing music, things start to go downhill. For the kind of user that I think would be interested in this laptop, the Asus G14, which I also have, is definitely worth considering. It has far less disturbing fan noise, particularly for casual use. I'm referring to the 2023 version, by the way, which is much better in this department than the older 2022 one. It also has far more powerful graphics options, and it's a bit cheaper. In comparison, the Aero 14 is slightly smaller, has a more vivid display, and doesn't feel as hot to the touch for casual use. Yes, even though I said this laptop feels warm to the touch for this use case, the G14 is worse. Then, if you're just looking at doing content creation on the go, the MacBook Pro 14 crushes both of them. It has far less heat and fan noise, better battery life, much better speakers, and a better webcam and trackpad where you won't need an external mouse. And if you just want a good Windows laptop to consume content on or do office work on, the Lenovo Yoga 9i or the HP Spectre 13.5 are better choices. I'll put links to all the laptops that I recommend down in the description below. It's a shame, as this laptop comes so close to being awesome. Hopefully Gigabyte fixes the fan situation when the laptop is doing light tasks and in future puts in better speakers, a better webcam and more useful ports. Then this laptop, in my opinion, would have a real shot at it. Well, what did you think of the Gigabyte Aero 14? Let me know with a comment below. That's all for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Smash that like button and get subscribed. Not only does it show your appreciation for the insane amount of effort that goes into making these videos, but as I always say, it makes my mother very proud. Till next time, go do something awesome with your day, and I will catch you later.